Today on Thousand Dare Radio. What's this? A big bag of Ikes. No silver, but I can explain, I think. An ounce of silver is Cuban. I think the embargo makes it a keeper. I'm always finding pandas. I just buy them and leave them everywhere like Easter eggs. My long-time lack of intoxication seems to have put my OCD in the driver's seat. It took me many years to become a weak person. I haven't talked about copper in a while. I heard recently it's at an all-time high. What's not at an all-time high right now? Maybe bullish on silver. I'm still not sure yet. I've been made fun of in the comments before as though I'm some kind of small thinker. Also, I'm definitely a bit of a prepper. Oh, look at this one. It's kind of gold. It really stands out. It's not a bug-out metal. It's a hunker-down metal. Back of them from the LCS. What is it with those things? But we're just getting started. I know, it's a little out there, but it sounds fun. I've only been buying organic, local, fair trade Mercury dimes. I take pride in this beautiful hoard. Not like June pride, just regular pride. So the deficit was just reduced by 1, probably in the most inefficient way possible. Let's push the crowd back with some riot barricades. None of this is financial advice. These channels, they're always talking about how good their bullion dealers are. Why don't you have a good price? It's so strange how these make me happy. Why do I have these? I don't know. Why does anyone watch baseball? Go now. Be with your other thousandaires. They're just like you. I'm trying to help everyone ignore news headlines. I believe they're not only not as important as we think, but also counterproductive. Wow, it's dawning on me that these mercs are getting out of control. And when I'm broke, I do something about it. I don't even know if I'm bullish on silver. So I've had the P.O. box less than a week, and I already have 3 letters. Isn't it fun watching things get unboxed or cut open? What do you mean cut open? Dear Thousandaire, you have the best YouTube channel on planet Earth. Enjoy, friendo. Your best friend in the whole wide world. All right, I'm ad-libbing again. Sorry, I had a lot of coffee. Oh my gosh, I see gold. You know, I've given away so many gold backs, but I've never received one. I'm starting to feel like that little Dolby guy in Harry Potter. And, of course, you know my mind. It wonders, what would this look like in abundance? Okay, here's a letter from Phil McCracken. I have yet to reach Thousandaire status. Yup, I'm 100-aire. I'm working on it, though. A box in a box. I can appreciate the security, but is it redundant? Whatever's in the box, I now own it, including all the trash. Okay, now I think I'm good. Alex Jokala back in the first, but always first class. Thousandaire. I had a great childhood and a lot of fun as a young adult. Come to think of it, a lot of fun as an old adult. The nightlife returns began to diminish into mere addiction. I became unhealthy and unlikable. For years now, I've been focusing on health and wealth. Cheers to yours, friendo. I kind of feel like more machine now than man. My long-time lack of intoxication seems to have put my OCD in the driver's seat. Although I have begun strength training, and I must say, I felt emotion. But enough about that. I must attend to the insatiable hunger for Mercury dimes. This might play with your emotions, friendo, but I intend to get rid of some of these beautiful 1-ounce silver eagles. And some other silver. I'm gonna look through it. Silver is over $34 today, and I don't want to pay, so I'm gonna trade. I'll warn you, if you do not have a good relationship with your LCS, local coin shop, then this is not a good move. You'll likely get a haircut, maybe even a buzz cut, and a close shave. Even with a fairly decent level of rapport with your coin shop, it's still probably a bad idea to trade. But I've sent some hefty referrals his way as of recent. So we'll see what he does. Maybe I'll leave with a little off the top. But I want to leave with all of his Mercury dimes. I'm trying to acquire a 1-to-1 subscriber Mercury dime ratio so that I can have a physical and visual representation of the channel and its growth. We'll go over Mercury dime math a little later, amongst other awesome things. Oh, if you have not already, can you please hit that like button? I work hard on these videos. Plus, no matter how big this channel gets, it's gonna get big. I'll never accept sponsorships from bullion dealers or mining companies. Won't that be nice? A big channel that's not a commercial. Taking advantage of new stackers by cherry-picking news articles. Using fear tactics to create FOMO, fear of missing out, so that they may peddle their puppet master bullion dealers' wares. For filthy fiat promissory notes, nonetheless. They'll tell you cash is trash, but they want yours. And I hear some of them trying to hold on to their integrity with some justifications, but ultimately you can't serve two masters. The audience that trusts in you or the bullion dealer. Don't worry, I'm not trading any of this Mexican silver. In a nutshell, I choose you over bullion dealer sponsors. And not because I'm selfless. I think you're worth more. And I'll tell you why. I'm not just gassing you up. Yeah, these generics can go. Yeah, so I believe it was George Carlin who once said, never underestimate the power of unintelligent people in large groups. And I agree. It kind of reminds me how the market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. But here's what I'm thinking. I'm always finding pandas. I just buy them and leave them everywhere like Easter eggs. I think this one may have a hefty premium. Anyhow, if large groups of unintelligent people are such a threat, then what does that say about a large group of intelligent people? A large group of disciplined people? A large group of wealthy people? Remember, if each thousandaire only has $1,000, and I'm pretty sure on average we have much more than that. This ounce of silver is Cuban. I think the embargo makes it a keeper, so I'll hold on to it. Yeah, so every thousandaires is a community worth $1 million, at least, and so on and so on. Capable of making real change if we were so inclined. As you can see, I got some real change here. I'm back from the LCS. And he was very reasonable. Are you ready to look through the score, friendo? What's this? A big bag of Ikes. No silver, but I can explain, I think. Let's do a little inventory of this pile of old silver dollars that I've been picking up, one each week. If you don't already know, I started doing this about a year and a half ago or so. And just because I'm doing it does not mean I recommend it. Setting aside a little of your filthy fiat each week and or investing a portion of it with regularity, that's the takeaway here. Not stacking old silver dollars. But these Peace and mostly Morgans do make a great visual representation of how things really add up. And so long as I'm capable, I'm not stopping. If you go away and come back in a few years, I'll still be here like a bucket beneath a leaky roof. It doesn't seem like much at first glance, but if you dismiss it and avert your attention for a while, you may come back to a mess. Or in this case, a very, very beautiful pile. Oh man, 3 years, that'll be 6 more centenarios. Yeah, the gold will not stop me from getting older. It won't give me good health. I'll have to keep the stress levels low, get some sleep, and eat right to do that. But I'll have 11 or so of these 1.2 troy ounce containing gold coins. Why not, right? And about 156 more of these old silver dollars. This is how I like to accumulate wealth, like a force of nature. Slowly and surely. Like how wind or water can erode rocks. Or like staring at the minute hand on a clock. It doesn't seem like it's moving. But it is. And as soon as you stop paying attention, where did the time go? Remember, it can take many years and lots of hard work to become an overnight success. The patience and the everyday actions often get overlooked because it doesn't really sell the story. Imagine seeing an ad that says, lose all the weight in 4 years. Only 4 years. Yeah, you've never seen that ad because who's going to do that? People spend years getting out of shape and overweight, developing those bad habits that got them there. So they could become that mighty elephant seal that absolutely doesn't lose fat, but only stores it and gains it. But there's a wedding coming up in 3 months, and they need 6-pack abs so they can fit into a tuxedo and look good in the pictures. So, a 4-year plan, it just won't do. This is on my mind because I began strength training. I'm actually sore right now. And I didn't skip leg day. I've been getting out of the car with my legs buckling. Anyhow, my plan is to become very strong by 2029. I'll probably have great results in the short term, but my goal is not a quick fix. It took me many years to become a weak person. At one point, I could do 136 push-ups on my knuckles in a row. Now, I'm having a hard time getting out 10, and they're not on my knuckles. But I'm gonna stack those push-ups just how I stack these silver dollars. I don't suspect I'll be Superman in 6 months, but I'll probably feel pretty good. And the exercises are not gonna be taking up most of my schedule. About 10 minutes a day till failure. And then the next day, I'll work on another part of my body till failure. All in a very calisthenic manner. At least in the beginning for quite some time, I'm sure. I'm not going for a quick fix. I'm trying to become a different type of person, and that takes time. Just like it takes time for all these old silver dollars to pile up. If you're new, you may have stumbled upon this channel and you see all of this treasure thinking that I am actually wealthy. Don't get me wrong, I could take off work for a couple years and still probably eat steaks, but that's about it. I have a job anyone could get fresh out of high school, or even if they had dropped out. But I save and invest some of my fiat paper promissory notes each week. And I'm trying to develop a business or two in my off time. And it's going to take time. What do you think of this week's silver dollar? Let me know in the comments below. I paid $50 for it. Oh, and in case you're watching this much later, this was filmed, recorded on my phone in March 2025. Wow, look at the breast feathers on that eagle. It makes me not feel so bad for spending $50 on 0.77344 troy ounces of silver. Would I have been better off stacking a generic round each week instead? Well, in the short term, right now, yes, but we'll see how time treats this move. I never delete my videos, no matter how ridiculous they may have been. You can always make fun of me, friendo, and point out my mistakes. In fact, I encourage it. Look at some old videos and let me know what you think. I leave them up so that if I should have some measurable form of success one day, all will be able to see that anyone can do it. And I don't mean stacking Morgan dollars. That's not what it's all about. Stacking anything of value. It doesn't even have to be a tangible good. You could stack steps every day, or push-ups, even glasses of water. I bought the last of these plastic square Morgans at my coin shop. Whoever that collector was that sold these, they were awesome. I haven't talked about copper in a while. I heard recently it's at an all-time high. What's not at an all-time high right now? I think collectibles. I don't want to bore you like I used to with Bitcoin about the graded comic books. But that's where a lot of my attention is these days. And I think I may be bullish on silver. I'm still not sure yet. Silver's not at an all-time high. So maybe going ham on Mercury dimes won't end tragically. All right, the elephant in the room. Why did I return with a bag of 140 Ikes? In a nutshell, I like to keep some cash around, and I like part of that cash to be high copper content change, such as pre-1982 pennies and all nickels. I often pick up nickels at the bank, and that's how I copper. I got some bars here, but they're mostly gifts. I'll add my old stash of Ikes to this, which is about 50. Eisenhower dollars are 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. What's this crap? Susan B's got no melt. I think it might be like 6 cents. Yeah, so with the Ikes, you get about 3/4 of a standard ounce of copper, which today I think only melts at 20 cents. But that's okay. There's no risk here. These are spendable. I don't pay more than $1 for them. Maybe compare that to buying a 1 ounce copper round. You'll likely pay $2 to $3. What's that? Roughly an 800 to 1200% premium. If you buy them and sell them as collectibles, you'll probably be okay. I've heard good things. But if you're buying them and selling them as copper, not good. I don't think you're doing that, and probably no one's doing that, I hope. So I intend for the high copper content change to sit around for quite some time. And I believe its metal content to face value ratio makes it rather impervious to inflation or deflation. And in total collapse, it still has value. 121 nickels makes up a pound of copper. That's just a wee bit over $6 face. A farmer would probably give you some eggs for that. Or milk. I mean, I know they would today, but in a collapse, they would too, if they had surplus that they were selling, which I'm sure they would. That's why they're a farmer. Now, if dollars were somehow no good, you would need 22 Ikes to make a pound of copper. If you were going to barter with a pound of copper, that is. So, if you can get the nickels, they're still much better than the Ikes. I buy, on average, $20 worth of nickels each week. And because of it, I've been made fun of in the comments before as though I'm some kind of small thinker. And maybe I am sometimes. Also, I'm definitely a bit of a prepper. But I'm also a batcher. I don't like having to go shopping for things. So I'll stack up some non-perishables to buy me some extra time. I'm still using soap that I purchased in 2019. Not only do I not have to go shopping for soap, but I would wager I paid a lot less for it then than it costs now. I'm still using the 2-year supply of coffee that I bought a year ago. I run out of toothpaste, I just grab another one off the shelf. It lasts about 2 years or so as well. My kitchen table is a chest freezer with a stool next to it. And it's full of meat, often purchased on sale. About a year ago, right after a holiday, I saw a bunch of ground beef at the grocery store for $1.50 a pound. And it looked pretty fresh. I think they just overstocked it for the holiday. I filled up my cart that day. And my freezer. Oh, look at this one. It's kind of gold. It really stands out. I think I'll set it to the side so that I may look at it again later. So anyhow, when I found that beef on sale, not only did I get a great deal, but that's also a lot of time I did not have to go shopping for beef in the future. And if in the future at any time some kind of disaster should have happened, well, I'd have a bunch of beef, toothpaste, soap, etc. So does that make me a prepper, a batcher, a hoarder? I don't know. Maybe a bit of each. People can say what they will, but how many of them were giving their neighbors food during the shutdowns when the flu season hit a few years back? I did. I gave 2 different neighbors a bunch of food. I was out of a job for over a month at the time because we shut down. And it was like a big vacation because, I occasionally watch the prepper videos and I had some emergency supplies. It was definitely a good test run. If something should happen again, I think I'll do much better because I stocked up on more luxuries this time and more things that I actually enjoy. And I made mental note of the things that were really, really good at that time, like cans of tomato sauce. You can cook almost anything if you got some tomato sauce. Oh, and when I was talking about the farmer, I have actually seen farmers online talking about how they would not take a 1-ounce copper round for some eggs. Well, at least not many eggs. You may get 1, and maybe a couple pity eggs for trying. I think that's going to do it for Talk About Copper today. It's not a bug-out metal. It's a hunker-down metal. Now let's move on to my favorite SHTF money, the Mercury dimes. I got a fresh sack of them from the LCS. What is it with those things? Anyhow, it looks like I'm merely slowing down the growth of the deficit rather than eliminating it so far, but we're just getting started. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm trying to create a 1-to-1 ratio, Mercury dime to subscriber, to create a physical representation of the thousandaires and the growth of the community. The wealthy community, that is. I know, it's a little out there, but it sounds fun. It's like a challenge with a moving target. Oh, I think I can see you right there, friendo. Looks just like you. So we got 571 here. And I gotta say, it's a beautiful thing. $57.10 face. So what do we got here? About almost 41 troy ounces of silver in the beautiful fractional or divisible form of Mercury dimes. In the spirit of things, I picked up this Mercury dime silver round. Why not? I've only been buying organic, local, fair trade Mercury dimes that are not slick. I take pride in this beautiful hoard. Not like June pride, just regular pride. Cringe alert. I took the protection off this 1 troy ounce Mercury dime round. You know why? It's too shiny. It needs some filth on it. I don't know if you were looking at the counter or not, but I counted this Mercury round as a dime. So the deficit was just reduced by 1, probably in the most inefficient way possible. I think this may be our thumbnail picture here. Perhaps this giant Mercury dime will create a little depth. Oh yeah, I think I could work with a frame from this. Okay, I'll put the counter back up and we shall resume as we prepare to assimilate the recent pickup. Let's push the crowd back with some riot barricades. And there's a reason for this. I'm not just being silly. Oh, I haven't harassed you a while for a like. Hey, can you hit the like button if you already have not? I appreciate your generosity. It'll come back to you. It always does. And more. I was just telling somebody yesterday, the best way to be selfish is to be generous. At least, that's what I've always noticed. And my cup overfloweth. Okay, so why did I need to separate these? There is a barber dime in here that I need to take out. It belongs in the
desk jar.
The desk jar. Everyone should have a desk jar of barber dimes. None of this is financial advice. I'm just advising you to think about it, consider it. Not every interesting person I know has a desk jar of barber dimes. But I will say, no uninteresting person has one. Oh, here's something interesting as well. Even if I spend all of the cash that I can to accumulate these Mercury dimes to get that deficit down to a 1-to-1 subscriber Merc ratio, I may have some sourcing issues because I bought all the Mercury dimes, well, I traded for all of them from my local coin shop already. There are others fairly close by, and I think I really do need to go to coin shops because I can get a decent price. If I go online, the prices are not good. These channels, they're always talking about how good their bullion dealers are. Why don't you have a good price? You want a good price? Find an LCS or an NSLCS. That's local coin shop or not so local coin shop. All right, here we go. They only had 1 barber dime. I'll accept a little slickage with a barber so long as I can read the date. It's so strange how these make me happy. But passions, I guess, are always strange from the outside looking in. No offense if it's your thing, but I see people watching baseball games. I'm like, ugh. what are you doing? Maybe it never caught on with me because every time my dad took me to a baseball game, our team lost. The games were long, uneventful. I'm cooking in the sun. He's just downing beers. Here we are at the desk jar. It doesn't fill up quickly, and it's just a jar of old slick dimes. But you don't really see these in circulation, so that makes them interesting. And perhaps I too will become interesting by proxy. Probably not, but I can look at them while I play games online, which isn't often, but I play some Tekken now and then. I don't pay a premium for these or the Mercs. I just sift through the dimes at the LCS. Listen. Very good. I think there's less than $3 face in here. The accumulation is very slow, but in time, it could become much more interesting. If I should pass, perhaps someone will find these on my desk, and they will say, "Who was that man?" So interesting. It's dawning on me where I'm just like, why do I have these? I don't know. Why does anyone watch baseball? All right, let's get back to the grind. So I picked up $10 face value of Mercury dimes at the LCS, which was pretty much all he had that were not slick or damaged. Now, we will allow them into the general population. Go now. Be with your other thousandaires. They're just like you. Don't be shy. Your network is your net worth. Well, maybe look out for that really big Mercury dime. Make friends with him. He will protect you in there. Hopefully. Oh, that reminds me. Make sure you leave a comment below. And maybe even comment on another thousandaires comment. Or, if you're feeling a little brain drained, algo food is always appreciated. And if you're still here and still watching and you're not subscribed, I'm sorry, but you probably belong here. It may not seem like it, but this is important work that I'm doing here. I'm trying to help everyone ignore news headlines. I believe they're not only not as important as we think, but also counterproductive. I mean, after all, it's actually easier to learn than it is to unlearn and then learn. So why allow ourselves to be misdirected in the first place? Wow, it's dawning on me that these mercs are getting out of control. And this only represents 15.5% of total thousandaires, or a little less than 1/7 of the wealthy community. So I'll need to buy 7 times more Mercury dimes than I have here. The gears are turning. I'm gonna make it happen somehow. And it will be glorious. I could have bought maybe 14 or 15 mercs if I didn't buy this. No regrets. While tightening up certainly will add to my effectiveness, I seriously doubt it'll be responsible for accumulating the lion's share. I have some other sources of income that I have not been cultivating. But now, with the insatiable hunger or thirst for Mercury dimes, I am now motivated. But motivation doesn't last forever. I have to turn it into some sort of habit or routine. The best way of doing that is to look at the big picture or goal and then break it down into smaller bites. If I'm to allot for channel growth and to hammer away at the deficit, it's looking like I'll need to increase my revenue by at least 250 filthy fiat petrodollar promises each week. I'm liking this goal. It makes me feel broke. And when I'm broke, I do something about it. This is crazy. I don't even know if I'm bullish on silver. Moving on. Join the pen pals. You can now write me at the Thousandaire Collector, 1700 Sullivan Trail, Suite 7, Box 111, Easton, Pennsylvania, 18040. Don't forget to include your info so I can put you on my mailing list. Okay, so I've had the P.O. box less than a week and I already have 3 letters. That is pretty wild. So let's see what we got here. Isn't it fun watching things get unboxed or cut open? What do you mean cut open? Packages. Oh, nice. I haven't had a red book for many years, decades. It has a bookmark. What does it say? Page 227. Let us go there and see what's on this page 227. Oh, we got a handle. Shuffle Silver. You ever heard of him? Now you have. Let's see what he has to say. Dear Thousandaire, you have the best YouTube channel on planet Earth. All right, so I may be ad-libbing just a bit. Shuffle Silver writes, keep up the great work, Thousandaire Radio. Enjoy the red book, plus the gifts. What? There's gift-a-sus in here? Finish the letter first. All right. The 1/10 ounce round is minted locally in New Hampshire. The Mercury dime is a representation of one subscriber. Me! Enjoy, friendo. Your best friend in the whole wide world. All right, I'm ad-libbing again. Sorry, I had a lot of coffee. Shuffle Silver. Look for him in the comments below. Click on him. and maybe subscribe to his channel. All right, I'm already happy about the red book, but let's see where these giftices are. Oh, nice. Page 227 is about Morgan dollars. Oh my gosh, I see gold. You know, I've given away so many gold backs, but I've never received one. I'm starting to feel like that little Dolby guy in Harry Potter. Oh wow, 1/10 ounce pure silver. I'm always too cheap to spring for the 1/10 pure fractionals. That's actually why I buy lots of silver dimes. Wow, there's so many things of value in here. Some gold, some silver, some fiat of the land, and a book of knowledge. A silver certificate fiat note nonetheless. There's a lot to shuffle here. You're too generous, friendo. I will set these off to the side in a safe place as they are now sentimental. And I will place this book somewhere it is likely to get flipped through. Gratitude. Let's get a closer look at that New Hampshire silver. Yeah, this will go alongside my premium Argenta, located in the deep stack. Let's take a look at the reverse, shall we? All right, plain Jane. I like it though because this is actually a thick little piece. And, of course you know my mind, it wonders, what would this look like in abundance? Perhaps in another desk jar. I'll have to put that dream on the back burner for a while. I'm already spread kind of thin. Okay, here's a letter from Phil McCracken from South Carolina. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. This was postmarked 13 of March, so out of all of the mail-ins, this was first. Let's see what he has to say. Looks like Phil McCracken is a man of few words. It looks like he's sent a Mercury dime to represent himself and to lighten the load of my accumulation. Oh, and a desk jar dime. Yes! 1901. And she's been around, all right. Thank you, Phil. It's much appreciated. I'll be sure to drop these in the proper piles in a very ceremonious way. Okay, I have one more letter to open, and perhaps I will open a couple comic book deliveries. Manila. I like it. Very classy. Okay, it reads, Thousandaire Radio. Hey, I enjoy watching your channel. I have yet to reach Thousandaire status. Yup, I'm 100-aire. I'm working on it, though. Here is my poker chip. Sub my tiny channel. I'd love some of your channel swag. Keep it up, Mr. Centenario, LOL. Signed, Southeast Stacker. Very nice. Oh, and I got a poker chip. My first poker chip. And apparently it's backed by Sweet Tea. Thank you, Southeast Stacker. I subbed. And I'm still working on producing some channel swag. But you are now on my mailing list, along with Shuffle Silver and Phil McCracken. You know, I'm beginning to suspect that's not his real name. All right, let's move onward. I like the chip. It's heavy. It feels substantial. I really need to make some kind of channel swag. All right, I got a couple boxes I've been waiting to open. My nose, it's so stuffy. A box in a box. I can appreciate the security, but is it redundant? I don't know. Well, at least it's likely safe inside there. Oh man, packing peanuts. Sorry about the complaining. It's just whatever's in the box, I now own it, including all the trash. Oh wow, the bubble wrap with the big bubbles. I should be saving it to reuse, but I just can't help myself. Oh, there we go. Just a bit more. Okay, now I think I'm good. Okay, so this is a comic book, and the next box is silver. High premium silver. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know I've been buying Lobo comics for the past couple years, in anticipation of Jason Momoa playing Lobo on the big screen. This is from Lobo's first miniseries in 1990, and this is number 3. And I think the cover on this one looks really awesome. This book is not so common in a slabbed 9.8 from CGC, and I gotta say, I'm feeling really good about owning another one now. I have one already, but I priced it not to sell because I don't want to get rid of it. We'll wait and see what the trailer looks like for the 2027 Supergirl movie. Honestly, I think Jason Momoa is going to knock the character out of the park. And the Lobo books will do very well for many years, I think. But nevertheless, around the time of the trailer is probably when I'll start proactively selling into the market. But really, I'm still in the accumulation phase. If the stock market starts heading north again, I'm going to do really well with these risk assets, I believe. Much better than I would with S&P indexes. But ultimately, it's about keeping part of my portfolio invested in fine art, and comic books are my choice for fine art, being that I cannot yet afford paintings that cost millions of dollars. And I'm not interested in paper shares of those through Masterworks, and I'm certainly not interested in NFTs. In fact, I'm sorry I even brought that up. All right, so I'm kind of hooked on these 1-ounce silver classic comic book covers. I'll be sure to go over these again in another video soon. But here's my new arrival. 1 troy ounce of silver with the original art from the Marvel Archives of Spider-Man #1 with a limited mintage of 1,000. These collectibles are the best of so many worlds. It's an ounce of silver, it's a comic book cover, and it's a card. And the collectible card market alone is pretty hot. And the appreciation of these collectibles is pretty substantial. This is what I'm buying, and I have much more to lose than to gain by telling you. Because the last thing I want is people bidding against me while I'm trying to accumulate them for myself. You'll know if it's me trying to sell it on eBay because I used the Thousandaire symbol for my profile picture, and my name is Thousandaire Collector. Let me know what you think about them in the comments below. I just saw an Avengers cover 1 ounce silver from 2019 auction for over $700. This Spider-Man is 2024. They're auctioning around 180 to, I think I even saw one sell for 250. But I have seen some auction for under 180. I doubt I'll be buying any doubles of this unless I see one go for pretty low, but because my money's busy right now. Like I said, I'm spread pretty thin, and I'm about to go on vacation. Well, I guess this video is getting kind of long. I can always go over this stuff later, so I'm going to go ahead and say that's it. That is it! Thousandaire Radio, wicked job. I'm working hard. Please hit all the buttons you can on the video. And if you're bidding on any of these 1 ounce silver comic book covers online, let me know, and I'll be sure not to bid against you. Adios, friendo.